Your kid's not lazy, not defiant, not forgetting on purpose. They might have ADHD, and nobody's seeing it. Because ADHD isn't just wild energy. Sometimes it's quiet perfection. A straight-A kid who daydreams. A bookworm who forgets their shoes. A genius who can hyper-focus for hours but still can't find their backpack. We're breaking down 9 signs hiding in plain sight, including one every teacher misses and every parent blames on attitude. Number 1, the time blindness that makes mornings hell. 5 more minutes, your kid yells. 30 minutes later, you find them building Legos, still in one sock, looking shocked. The time dared to move without permission. They're not lying. Their brain genuinely doesn't feel time passing. Stanford Neuroscience calls it time blindness. ADHD brains process time like a glitchy video file. For them, time isn't 10 minutes or half an hour. It's just now and not now. Nothing in between. So when you say, we leave in 10 minutes, they hear, we leave sometime before the sun explodes. Getting ready for school turns into trench warfare. You've tried timers, warnings, threats, bribes, but you're treating it like a behavior issue when it's actually a wiring issue. Watch them doing something they love. 6 hours disappear. I just started, they'll swear. And they're right. But homework for 20 minutes? That's geological time. It's not disrespect. It's neurology. They start homework at 7 p.m. thinking they got plenty of time. And suddenly, it's bedtime and they're weeping into their math sheet like it betrayed them. The fix isn't more alarms. It's structure. External time for an internal clock that doesn't exist. Visual schedules. Consistent routines. Gentle patience. Not accommodations. Survival tools for a brain that lives entirely in the present tense. Number 2, the emotional intensity everyone calls drama. Your kid doesn't have feelings. They have feelings. Joy isn't happiness, it's euphoria. Disappointment isn't sadness, it's grief with a soundtrack. Every emotion shows up like it's headline in Glastonbury. Harvard research says emotional dysregulation is a core ADHD feature. The same brain that can't regulate attention can't regulate feelings either. So when your child melts down over a canceled playdate, that's not manipulation. That's neurology, with the volume stuck on max. You say, calm down. They hear, stop drowning better. Rejection-sensitive dysphoria means criticism literally hurts. Their brain tags rejection as a survival threat. They'll remember that one teacher sigh from 2018 forever. Teachers call them dramatic. Parents whisper, too sensitive. But your child's nervous system is basically a fire hose with no nozzle. The flip side, their joy is just as big. They'll cry over a broken toy and 10 minutes later, happy dance over a puddle like it's Glasto Part 2. They feel everything at 200%, including the good stuff. So when the feelings look too loud, don't rush to quiet them. You're not raising a drama queen, you're raising an emotional amplifier. They don't need scolding. They need structure. Help them manage tidal waves, not pretend they don't exist. Number 3, the hyperfocus everyone thinks means no ADHD. They can't have ADHD. They play Minecraft for 6 hours straight. That's like saying someone can't have an eating disorder because you've seen them eat. Hyperfocus isn't super attention. It's broken attention controls. MIT research shows ADHD hyperfocus lights up different brain circuits entirely. Your child isn't choosing to concentrate. Their brain has hit lock-on mode. You call them for dinner 6 times. They don't hear you. Not won't, can't. Their brain has disconnected from reality like a Wi-Fi dropout. How can the same kid who can't focus on homework for 5 minutes build Minecraft kingdoms for 6 hours? Because ADHD isn't attention deficit, it's attention dysregulation. Focus is either starving or binging. Nothing in between. Teachers see that marathon session and think, see, they can focus when they want to. Nope. Interest flips the on switch. Boredom yanks the plug. They can no more control it than their shoe size. The gift turns curse fast. 5 hours later, they haven't eaten, peed, or blinked properly. They resurface dazed, dehydrated, looking like they just returned from a mental black hole. Hyperfocus isn't motivation. It's momentum with no brakes. They don't need more discipline. They need transition help. Timers, cues, and reminders to leave the zone safely. Because for an ADHD brain, just stop is like saying, just defy gravity. Number 4, the sensory sensitivities nobody connects to ADHD. That shirt tag, not a little itchy. It's medieval torture equipment. Sock seams are sworn enemies. And that meltdown over the wrong hoodie, not attitude. It's a nervous system on fire. John Hopkins found that 40% of ADHD kids have major sensory processing differences. Their brains don't filter sensation. They amplify it. Morning outfit battles aren't drama. They're survival. Trying on 17 shirts is just searching for one that doesn't feel like sandpaper made of bees. And food, mixed textures are the final boss. Soup with chunks, betrayal in a bowl. Yogurt with fruit, fruit crime. They're not picky. They're dodging landmines only they can feel explode. Sounds do it too. The hum of the fridge, fluorescent buzz, ticking clock. You've tuned them out. Their brains blasting all of it at full volume. Imagine trying to do algebra in a nightclub. That's school for them. People say they're oversensitive, but what feels like nothing to you feels like everything to them. Their senses aren't wrong. They're just loud. And when the world's volume is always maxed, sometimes the meltdown isn't defiance. It's self-defense. Number 5, the sleep problems that aren't behavioral. Bedtime isn't bedtime. It's a 2-hour hostage negotiation with a tiny lawyer who suddenly has existential questions. They're not Stalin. Their brain just doesn't recognize bedtime. UCLA research shows 75% of ADHD kids have developed sleep phase syndrome. Fancy talk for their brain's time zone is somewhere over the Pacific. You say 8 p.m. Their brain hears, cool, let's start a documentary marathon. The moment their head hits the pillow, ignition. Every thought becomes fascinating. Every sound, a crime that must be investigated. They get thirsty, philosophical, and deeply curious about dinosaurs. You're fighting biology, not behavior. Their circadian rhythm runs on a different clock. Asking them to sleep early is like asking you to nap at 4 p.m. after 3 espressos. Morning? Pure chaos. 9 alarms, 3 threats, and 1 existential crisis later, they finally appear, half-dressed and emotionally unresponsive. They're not lazy. They're jet-lagged. In their own house. You've tried everything. Melatonin, white noise, blackout curtains, bargaining with higher powers. Nothing works because you're not fighting defiance. You're fighting chemistry. Left alone, they would naturally sleep 2 a.m. to 11 a.m., but school starts at 8, so they live in a permanent sleep debt. The crankiness, zoning out, random meltdowns, half ADHD, half exhaustion, squared by biology. And if you think the chaos ends when the lights go out, think again. Number 6, the social struggles that look like rudeness. Your kid interrupts constantly, monopolizes every conversation, stands this close to people's faces, shares way too much information, sometimes including your tax situation. They're not rude. They're manually running social software that installs automatically for everyone else. Yale found ADHD kids miss up to 60% of nonverbal cues. They don't see the eye rolls, sighs, or slow motion backing away that screams, "Please stop talking." They're socially blindfolded, confused why every friendship keeps exploding in slow motion. Interrupting, not arrogance, expiration anxiety. Their thoughts have a 5-second shelf life. If they don't say it now, it vanishes forever. They're not cutting you off. They're saving the thought before it self-destructs. Oversharing? That's the missing, should I say this? Filter. They'll trauma dump to the mailman, reveal family secrets to a cashier, and introduce themselves with blood type. Everything feels equally shareable. Group play, chaos, too many rules, too many turns, and one sudden rule change when they're losing. The other kids think they're cheating. Your kid thinks everyone else downloaded a social rule book they never got. They want friends more than anything. but intensity keeps pushing people away. They love hard, text often, need reassurance like oxygen. One friend becomes their entire world until that friend needs space, and it feels like exile from the planet. They're not broken. They're just doing friendship in hard mode. And while their heart sometimes misfires socially, it's wired with more loyalty than most adults ever learn. Number 7, the rejection sensitivity that breaks hearts. Your kid remembers everything, every no, every sigh, every time someone's eyebrows hinted at disappointment. They're not being dramatic. Their brain literally tags rejection as danger. Columbia research shows 70% of people with ADHD have rejection-sensitive dysphoria. Their brain lights up like it's in physical pain when they feel dismissed. So a teacher's try again feels like hatred. A friend playing with someone else? Betrayal. You saying not now feels like abandonment. Their nervous system doesn't sort mild from major. It's all catastrophic. They start shape-shifting to survive. People pleasers on overdrive, agreeing, apologizing, editing themselves just to stay liked. Or they go ghost mode, pull away before anyone can push them first. Both come from the same wound, a brain that experiences rejections at full volume all the time. It's heartbreaking to watch. They crave connection so badly that fear of losing it makes them drive it away. They cling too tight and get pushed back, or they reject others first just to control the pain. They're not needy, they're neuro-wired for heartbreak. But here's the hopeful twist. That same radar that detects rejection can also detect kindness once they trust it. Help them calibrate it, and you'll watch them build loyalty deeper than most adults ever manage. And if you think the emotional side is hard, wait until you see what their brain does with instructions. Number 8, the executive function delays everyone misunderstands. Your 12-year-old doesn't have the brain of a CEO. They got the brain of an 8-year-old intern trying to run a company with 400 open tabs. They're not immature. Their executive function, the part that plans, organizes, starts things, finishes them, and remembers why it started them, is still under construction. Research shows ADHD delays these skills by about 30%. So when you say, clean your room, they hear, perform surgery on yourself while blindfolded. They stand there, overwhelmed. Clean for 3 minutes, get distracted by a sock, rearrange toys, forget why they started. 4 hours later, it looks like a crime scene and a renovation show. Homework? That's an Olympic event. 7 executive functions in a trench coat. Remember the assignment. Bring home materials. Start, stay, organize, finish, turn in. If any one step fails, the whole mission implodes. You've been told they're lazy or don't care. But watching them try is like watching someone juggle water. The harder they grip, the more slips through their fingers. They're not failing, they're adapting. And when you swap shame for structure, you become the scaffolding their brain's still building. Number 9, the mask they wear until they can't. At school, your kid's an angel. Polite, quiet, follows every rule. Teachers say they're perfect. Meanwhile, at home, you're living inside an emotional volcano. They're not manipulating, they're masking. That means spending the entire day pretending to be neurotypical. It's not acting, it's manual labor for the brain. All day they sit still. Torture. Stay quiet. Impossible. Focus on boring things. Agony. Navigate social chaos. Confusing. Survive sensory overload. Constant. And somehow appear normal through it all. By the time they get home, they're running on fumes and holding the hurricane together with duct tape. The meltdown over homework? It's not about homework. It's about finally feeling safe enough to fall apart. And here's the cruel twist. Nobody believes you. School sees model student. You see the fallout. You feel like the failing parent, when really, your home is the only place safe enough for them to unmask. The explosion means they trust you. They're not broken. Their brain's just working overtime in a world built for different wiring. They're trying harder than anyone realizes to succeed on settings that weren't made for them. So stop fighting their nature. Start protecting it. because masking hides brilliance. And when you help them drop the mask, what's left isn't chaos, it's honesty. Different doesn't mean defective. It just means underrated. And when it's understood, it can be extraordinary.